Hey everyone, we just wrapped up another indoor ag con, and it was a really great show. Congratulations to Kyle, Suzanne, Brian, Dawn, and everyone else who worked behind the scenes to put on this year's show. It was a really good one. I also just wanted to thank the people who came to our booth and threw darts at our VPD dartboard. That was a lot of fun. We only had 4 people who actually hit the 1.00 kilopascal target and won a Dr. Greenhouse t-shirt. I think we're going to do it again next year. So if you didn't do it this year or you want another shot at hitting the target, please plan to come by next year. I also want to thank everyone who participated in our inaugural Table Talk networking event. All of our speakers, we had Dominick and Aaron and Rodrigo and Michelle and Nick. They were all so great at moderating tables of different topics. And we had more than 50 people from the conference attend the event. We got some great feedback already. So I just want to thank all of you who joined us for that. As many of you know, we do these conference takeaways every year. And so I just wanted to share a couple of my takeaways. First off, it was still an optimistic conference. I would be so sad if Indoor AgCon wasn't optimistic and filled with happy faces. And we still had that, which was awesome. But it was also maybe had a slightly sobering vibe where, I would say that there was less sort of head in the clouds, vision, what could be, and more feet on the ground around operations and what we need to accomplish in order to be successful. I think that was a really great sort of change of mentality here. In general, it was less tech, more farm, less could we and more should we kind of conversations. So, for those people who think, maybe the thrill of CEA is gone or CEA is on the downswing, yes, I would agree that maybe we're in a lull, but I think this is our opportunity to really carry it forward and create the upswing that we want it to be, that we believe it can be. And on that note, probably my biggest takeaway, the thing that I heard most often, sort of the common thread through so many of the talks and conversations, had to do with the stories that we are missing, that we're not telling, the positive impact that CEA is having on our regions, on our communities, and on our staff. And for me, that big takeaway was that we need to take back control of the narrative around what CEA is and can be, as opposed to being bombarded with all the stories about failed operations and about not meeting expectations. We have the opportunity to take it back, because the people who are at this conference, the people who are in this room, still believe in CEA. They are the success stories. We are the survivors, right? We are the ones who are sticking through this. Many of us were in this even before the thrill of CEA ever even started, because we saw the opportunity that it brought to farms and to, feeding a hungry, malnourished planet. And so, some of the stories that I heard, some of the numbers that I heard, and this just scratches the surface, I know, is that CEA lettuce now comprises 15 to 20 point market share in the northeastern U.S. We have made a real dent on the lettuce market. And in the rest of the U.S., it's 5 to 7 point market share. Those are real numbers. We are making a real impact on the food supply chain. We heard stories of farm diversification. So how, traditional row crop farmers are diversifying to include greenhouses, germination chambers, high tunnels, aquaponics farms, all these different CEA-related operations that they may not have done otherwise, and that's really helping to save next generation farmers and their land. We need to tell more stories about stability and consistency of product, and how CEA helps to educate and empower young people and first generation farmers and CEA growers. These are just some of the stories that I heard in the conversations. And what I'm looking to do going forward in 2026 is to keep these conversations going, keep telling these positive stories. So if you have a story that you want to tell where you made a really big impact on your community, on your staff, or even just in the lettuce market, for example, I want to hear from you, and I'd love to get you on the podcast if you're willing and able. So it was a great show. I'm so glad I went. I feel super energized. I hope everybody else does too, and I just hope that we can maintain the momentum through storytelling and shared experiences. All right. Enough about my takeaways. Let's listen to the other 11 people who stopped by the booth to share their experiences of the conference. All right. Have a great one, everyone. Hey everybody, we are here in Las Vegas at Indoor AgCon 2026, and I'm here with Dr. Giacomelli, Professor Emeritus now of the University of Arizona in the Controlled Environment Ag Center. If you don't know, he was my PhD advisor way back when, and that's how I became Dr. Greenhouse. Dr. G, welcome.
It's great to see you, Dr. Greenhouse, because I love it. It's good. Your voice is just amazing. It just makes people smile. You just want to talk, and I love coming to this place. Well, to meet you and everybody else, and make some new contacts. Yeah, I'm retired, but I'm not always tired. I want to do things, so I come here. And I had a thought.
Okay.
About this place and what I see, because it's expanded from the 8 tables the first time I came to the 99, whatever it is, 150 tables here now.
So many.
It's unbelievable. But what I recognize, it's the same problems. The problems haven't gone away. They're still there to grow the plant-centric thing.
Yep.
So I was glad I heard that a lot on the first day.
We did.
It's people are getting there, but there's the technology to make those problems maybe not go away, but make them less of a problem. Mm-hmm. The sensors for computer control, we didn't have that in the beginning. There were, and they really work now. Wireless sensors.
Yeah.
Oh, the automatic fertigation systems. Oh, geez. All that is just trying to make the plant grow.
Yeah.
But there's still those challenges, as you know. VPD.
VPD. What's your VPD? Yeah, it was nice to hear the investor panel this morning talk about how this industry is not a technology play, and that is a big lesson that they learned and that we have learned together as an industry through some hard times, and that this is really farming with low margins, long-term positions, right? That this isn't a quick venture capital get rich quick scheme. So it was nice to hear that realization come from the investors who are bringing money to this industry. So welcome to what we already knew, right?
Yeah,
what we've been preaching for a long time.
So let's make it work better now. I mean, it is not tradition for agriculture to get such investments. Mm-hmm. So in essence, even though it was done on the wrong premise, those who will survive benefited. And I guess we all benefited by learning, by the experiences of those who came and went and realized that this is a lot of work. And that biology gets in the way.
Oh my gosh.
You can fool around physics a little bit, but don't play around with biology. The plant is the plant in charge.
Yep. So, I mean, the questions I usually ask for my conference takeaways are, number one, what is one of the big takeaways you have from this conference? Is there anything beyond what we just talked about that you would say you're going home with?
Well, the evolution of technologies that I've known for a long time. I ran into can I mention somebody's name?
Sure.
A nanobubbles
Oh,
company.
yeah.
And I said, I worked at nanobubbles about 12 years ago, and halfway down the pipe, there's no more bubbles.
Yeah.
So how can I get it to my 1 acre greenhouse? Oh, we have new technology. So, he gave me his card, young man. That's the other thing, the young people.
Yeah.
They come out, they're real aggressive, friendly aggressive, trying to sell something. And he says, I'll send you information because you need to know about this way we do it. You can store the bubbles for months in a tank of water.
So it has to be under pressure, obviously. But we don't know.
No, we don't know.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to see. So that's the point.
Yeah.
It's just like I ran into one of our former students. And he said, I always remember you saying whenever you hear the word, we get 20% increase or 25% increase. First, probably don't believe that yield increase because it's hard to do.
That's a lot, yeah.
But the real question to ask is, compared to what?
Exactly.
What were you getting before, which we've already surpassed? You know what I mean? So you got to put it in perspective.
And my question usually is, at what quality?
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
So, okay, you increased yield, but do you have the same or better quality, or did you just sacrifice quality for more yield?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so did you end up throwing away that 20% or processing that 20% down because you have an increase in yield?
And at an added expense to do that, and added carbon, right? I mean,
exactly.
For sure. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to also congratulate you on Indoor AgCon's inaugural award for, what was your award?
Trailblazer.
He is a trailblazer. He had no idea that he was getting this award, but you had a clue.
I had a clue when they wanted me to. When she was introducing she Jen Polans.
Yeah.
Kept talking about, this person has done so much in the industry and at research and the teaching, and for a long time. And I looked around the table, and I was the real gray head there. You know what I mean? Well, there was a few, but bottom line, they weren't the teachers and the researchers. And I said, oh no, I'm gonna have to do an Emmy speech. So.
I've been using that joke, by the way, like all day or yesterday. I was saying, he got his Grammy, or congratulations on your Grammy to the Jiffy people.
See?
Anyway, it worked.
Well, it worked, and I wish I could have been more serious. And I did talk to Jen later. I said, no, I'm really appreciative. Because it's an honor, obviously, to take the time and to do that. But I was really set up. They made me a speaker moderator, so they knew I had to be here.
You had to be here.
Even though I come every year.
Exactly.
This is great.
How many years have you been coming? Can you remember?
Since the third one, 2015, 2013,
I think,
something like
right
that.
In there, yeah.
Right in there. And except for the COVID. And maybe I'm traveling in Europe one time. Who knows? But that kind of thing. Yeah. I try to get here. I try to get the students, sending the students there. This is my past life now. Sending the students here. I say, bring your resume.
Yeah.
Because you should walk place, see who you might want to work for, talk to them, and you'll know a little bit about them. And give them your resume and see what happens.
That's great advice.
So that's worked out well in the past.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Gene, I really appreciate you spending some time with us on today's podcast, and it's always great to see you. I always know I'm going to see you, and when I came to that first one, when we were both here for the first time for that third annual, it was so wonderful to have breakfast with you and Debbie, and here you guys are again and run into you, and
we're going strong.
It's a great place to connect with people.
We don't want to stop. Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
All right. Woo. Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. Hey everybody, I am here with Babik from Dramm at Indoor AgCon 2026, and thank you for being willing to answer a couple questions on our Indoor AgCon Takeaways podcast.
I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, have you been to Indoor AgCon before?
We've been coming for multiple years.
What about you?
I've also been coming for multiple years.
Okay, and what's your impression of this year's show?
Extremely positive.
Good.
Last year we felt very good after the show in terms of the discussions and what everybody was trying to accomplish. This year is as good, if not better, than last year.
That's good to know. So what is one of your main takeaways from this year's conference?
Everybody came with an agenda. There wasn't just a randomness of why. Everybody seemed to have a specific question or come with a specific discussion they wanted to have to either improve what they have or do it differently the next time.
That's super interesting. Well, that's all the questions I have. If you have anything else you want to add about the show or your experience here?
I would just say if you're interested in becoming efficient, becoming better at increasing your efficiency as a grower, come here, learn, talk to the experts.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Have a good rest of your show.
All right.
All right, hey everybody, we are back on the floor at Indoor AgCon 2026. Please introduce yourself and who you work with or for.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ryan Lesniewski. I'm a consultant in the leafy greens industry.
So have you been to Indoor AgCon before?
I have. I've been here once in Orlando and once in Vegas.
Okay, awesome. And what were your impressions of this year's conference?
It's getting bigger. I see more, obviously, digital AI technologies, control environment software. I think I'm seeing more stability. This has been an industry of growth and optimism that has kind of ebbed and flowed. And so I'm seeing some, I think, stabilization.
Okay, that's good, I think. So what is one of your big takeaways from the conference?
So I think my biggest takeaway is that lessons have been learned in the last 5 years.
And they're open about it. They're saying these are the lessons learned.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
and I was feeling that in some of the other years of conferences that maybe there was a lot of excitement and less know-how and proof of concept. And so I think we're seeing that it's getting more, somebody mentioned today, sobering, like people are a little bit more honest with the outlook and what's it's going to take in order to be successful consistently in the long run.
That's a great takeaway. That's one of my big takeaways as well. Well, Ryan, thank you for stopping by our booth. Thank you for coming to Indoor AgCon, and it was super great to meet you.
Great, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's it. All right, hey everybody, we are on the Indoor AgCon exhibit floor, and I'm here with Rodrigo Pereyra. Yeah, there we go, with Good Leaf Farms. Rodrigo,
Nadia,
how's it going?
It's going really well.
Thank you so much for participating and being one of my grower experts for our inaugural Table Talk networking event.
It was a ton of fun. It was a really, really good conversation. Actually had to improvise a little bit. We had a bunch of manufacturers, so thinking about, like what their perspective is and how the perspective is, from a grower, and trying to share my grower perspective and try to understand what they're thinking about, what the industry's telling them. It was, really, really fun conversation.
And one of the reasons I was so excited to have you is because you've come from the lighting side and now you're on the grower side, and to get your perspective from both, like, what would you say is one thing you've learned being on the grow side?
Yeah, no, that's an awesome question. That's something that we talked about. So first and foremost, when I was on the manufacturing side, it's like obsessed over let me squeeze the last little photon out of this light, let me make them as efficient as possible. Now on the growing side, I'm like, do these lights work? Can they turn on and off? Can I control them effectively? And
that's simple.
So it becomes much more practical in a way. because now you're understanding the problem you're trying to solve, right? Like you're trying to solve consistency of growth, consistency of crop. So then you're sort of honed in on really simple things. I think the other thing of sort of moving from lighting into growing is sort of seeing lighting as a piece of the overall system, not sort of the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is it that lighting plays into the environment? How is it that lighting plays into, managing potentially like crop aspects, and so it becomes like less single-minded and more sort of systems thinking, which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love that. So, have you been to Indoor AgCon before?
This is my first year.
What did you think?
I loved it. I loved it.
What did you like so much about it?
First of all, just the conversations. Like,
Yeah.
I had some really great conversations. I got to meet people I hadn't seen in a really long time. Got to meet people that I'd only seen on screens. So, having really frank, open conversations in terms of what we're seeing in the industry, what our challenges are. It's something you don't get in like 30-minute increments in meetings. Like when you start doing it with a bunch of people together and like impromptu conversations start happening, that I just find that super, super valuable.
That's awesome. What is one takeaway you're going back home with?
Oof, that's a really good question. Gotta get out in the world a little bit more and talk to people. Yeah. I mean, I think we sort of get absorbed in what we're doing day in and day out, and then when you have your head down, like you sort of don't look up and look what's around you, and you miss people having really interesting conversation, having really good ideas. So I think part of it is like just getting out. Get out. Yeah.
Perfect takeaway. All right. Well, Rodrigo, thanks again. This is the first time you and I have met in person too. So that's also exciting for me. So I really appreciate everything you did with us.
No, thank you, Nadia, again. It was like absolute pleasure. I had so much fun coming here. Thank you.
Awesome. Enjoy the rest of the show. Other way. Fuck me. That's going to be at the end of that. Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. On the Indoor AgCon exhibit floor, I am with Dominick DiMucci from Haven Greens. How's it going, Dom?
It's great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of our inaugural Table Talk networking event. So appreciate it.
Of course. It was great.
Have you been to Indoor AgCon before?
Yeah, this is my third year.
Okay.
Indoor Ag, yeah.
What keeps you coming back?
For me on the grower side, obviously I don't have anything to sell here. So it's really a good pulse check once a year, just what's happening in the industry. I think the industry is small enough now where if deals are going to be made, they're going to be made. So for me, it's really nice just to kind of see what's happening in the industry, where things are changing, listen to a talk or two, and just kind of, I've noticed like a perspective shift in the industry over really the last 2 years at this show. Okay. And so hoping for that to kind of continue over the next few years. Yeah.
Nice. What is one of your big takeaways from this year's Indoor AgCon?
The biggest thing that I've seen this year is I really think we're starting to, there's been a lot of talk over the last few years over more collaboration, data transparency, and a lot of people say that and not a lot of people do it. And I think we're hitting an inflection point where people are realizing that not everything we do here is IP. We've been growing in greenhouses for a really long time. There's a side of this business that's really mature, and they've done that through collaboration and partnerships and knowledge sharing. And I'm noticing we're just hitting that curve where I'm seeing people talk a little more freely, and it's been really a breath of fresh air.
Nice. I know that a lot of people who went to your talk, that was one of their takeaways, is that they were so excited that you actually put some data on the screen, that you were real about what your experiences are as a grower in trying to grow lettuce in your greenhouse. And people were just so excited to finally see some data presented. And I heard that everyone is like scrambling to write down what you were showing.
You know as well as I do, Nadia, that at the end of the day, this comes down to just hard work. Like, we're farmers, right? A high volume, low margin game. And so we deploy a lot of technology to help us scale quickly, but at the end of the day, it's the team, it's the people that you have in place, and it's the attention to detail that you have in your facility. And I don't inherently consider that IP. I just consider that showing up every day and getting things done. And so happy to put numbers on the screen. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. And so that's also an important part of being transparent, is that when we put the wrong tools in the wrong places, the outcome is probably not going to be what you desire. And when you put good tools in place and you work hard, the outcome starts to look a lot better. And so I think it's important for people to see.
For your table talk, you ran the climate table, and I noticed that there were a few people at the table who maybe came from vendors, but it also looked like there were a lot of growers. At least they look like growers from my perspective. I'm just kind of curious, in terms of that IP collaboration, did you feel like at your table that was happening, that people were really open about their experiences?
Yeah, it was a lot of solutions providers at the table, which I think is just fine, because solutions providers have a good insight into a wide range of growers as opposed to an individual grower having one specific set of challenges. And both are important things to tackle. Personally, I would love to help an individual grower with an individual problem, but when you have a table full of solutions providers, they also have a wide, varying perspective on a lot of different problems. And so we were able to have some pretty good discussions about just what people are seeing holistically and generally, as opposed to specific use cases. But overall, I think it went really well. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Dom, so much for joining us today, and I'm so excited to finally meet you in person. And I can't wait to continue the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nadia.
Thanks. Thank you, sir. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Hey, Nadia. It's going great.
Hey, everybody. I am here with Nick Denney, who's with Holistic Industries. You recently changed your position, so I don't know what you are anymore.
I'm the Senior Director of Product Innovation.
And you were before?
I was the Senior Director of Cultivation.
Okay, got it. So, first off, thank you so much for being one of my grower experts for our inaugural Table Talk event. How did your session on crop steering go?
Lots of fun.
Yeah?
So, there's some really great people come to the table that have a lot to offer, and so I actually did more listening than I anticipated, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
I don't like to hear myself talk too much. But yeah, people of different backgrounds, asking questions, getting their opinion on crop steering and their methods, and I definitely learned a few things myself.
That's fantastic. I love that. So have you been to Indoor AgCon before?
I went to the first Indoor AgCon ever in 2013.
Are you serious?
And then I think I went for the 2 years after that.
Okay.
I took a long break, and I came back, I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm here now.
So how did you see the conference after taking that break change from the first one you came to in 2013 to now?
So in 2013, it was only veggies and non-cannabis crops.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't growing cannabis at that time. Then when I came back a couple of years ago, that's when they had started to bring cannabis into the fold. So it's changed quite a bit. Like that first conference was, the whole conference was about as big as the room that I was speaking in yesterday.
Yeah.
Now it's really expanded. And then seeing it evolve from when they first started incorporating cannabis to now, the biggest difference I saw in this show was just some of the people that were in attendance, that are, I think, more central to the cannabis community and culture. Really love seeing that. Like people that I really look up to and respect were here, and operators that grow great flower, genetics, tastemakers, and yeah, just a lot of like people that I would want. If I had a list, I would put them on the list to be here. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. So what is one of your primary takeaways from this conference that you're going to go home with?
This seems to be attracting more of what I personally would want to see at Indoor AgCon. I haven't been to MJ Biz in many years, and
me too.
I think you're seeing more of the community that would typically you'd want to see at that show being here. but it's the networking is incredible when the right people show up. So
Do you think also because it's not just cannabis that there's this cross-pollination across crops that has been needing to happen for a long time?
absolutely, and I think I love to see the more legacy or traditional cannabis growers have a high interest in that, and knowing that info can really help them
10
advance
years
their
ago, it was
operations.
not necessarily that way, right?
No,
Yeah.
on both sides. Like
Yeah.
the traditional side, kind of turning their nose up to the legacy growers, and the legacy growers being resistant to change and what they know. But I think that gap has really closed a lot, and that's great to see. Like the traditional horticulture growers, I always thought could learn more from the legacy growers about the perception of quality and genetics, and then more of the legacy growers not having the access to some of the educational tools or resources or literature to base decisions more in science. There used to be a much bigger gap when I started in cannabis 8 years ago, and I see that gap really closing, and especially at conferences like this.
I think that's a huge takeaway. I love that takeaway. Well, Nick, thank you so much for volunteering to spend so much time with us, and I hope to see you again next year.
Yeah, that was super fun. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks.
All right.
Hey everybody, we are on the exhibit floor of Indoor AdCon, which is wrapping up. So Michelle and I are going to try to talk quickly.
Okay.
That's hard for us. Well, it's easy to talk quickly, but it's harder to
Keep it
shorter.
contained.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so I am with Michelle Keller, who is the CHO. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Of Living Greens Farm. Michelle, thank you so much for being one of my expert growers for our inaugural Table Talk networking event. How did it go?
It was phenomenal. So
Yeah?
one of the growers had a problem with water. And that was the whole point of why she came to this talk. And the whole table just brainstormed that whole time to try to help her. I mean, we all went around the table and discussed what we were doing and all that stuff, but we all kept on coming back to her and helping her figure out her challenges.
Did
and
you
her
guys solve
problems.
it?
She walked away with several attempts of what she's going to try next.
Are you guys going to all stay in touch and like...
Unfortunately, we did not
Okay,
exchange
or
numbers.
next year?
Maybe next year.
You're going
yes.
to be like, how'd it go?
Yes,
Right?
right.
That's amazing. I love that feedback. So you've been to Indoor AdCon before.
Once or twice.
Yeah. What keeps you coming back?
The energy I'm going to walk away with from today and yesterday's convention. So every year you get bogged down into the day and day. You're just getting through the grind, the 10 hours of being in the grow rooms. You come here, you see the excitement, you see maybe the different products, but the different people that you can just go, I have this problem. And they go, oh, I solved that about 2 years ago. This is what I did. And then you move on, and
Nice.
you go home re-energized and going, and I can go do this, and this, and life has rejuvenated for another year.
That's fantastic. So what is one of your big takeaways that you're going to go home with this year? You knew that question was coming.
I know, it's a really hard one for me this year. The research that I'm doing is phenomenally important, and sometimes when you're doing research you kind of get lost in is this ever going to be used, is this ever going to be useful? And just talking with some of the things that I've been playing with on just certain segments, I've been able to help other growers. And so that just gets me
That's nice.
really more excited to finish my research, or I now have new avenues to explore to help me move forward and maybe help others.
I feel like I've been hearing that a lot, is that there's less emphasis on IP, finally,
Yes.
and more emphasis on collaboration and helping each other.
Right, yes.
You think-
I agree. I agree. I mean, everybody's still going to have their secret sauce,
Oh, well, of course.
but they're...
you need something to differentiate yourself or
So
whatever.
you can get the investments.
Yeah.
But yes, the love of the growers is coming back through. You're a grower, I'm a grower. Let's talk, let's play, let's figure this out. You're successful on the East Coast, I'm successful on the West Coast. Who cares?
Exactly.
Let's play in the sandbox.
Love it. Well, Michelle, it's always great to see you. Thank you for volunteering your time with us, and I can't wait to see you again next year.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. All right, hey everybody. We are on the Indoor AgCon exhibit floor, and I am with two legends, in my opinion, from Sacramento. I'm with Anthony Jones and Sergio Picazo. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure thing. Well, we're from PowrHouse out of Sacramento, California, and we're research and development cultivation. We focus on plant health and immunity at scale. While still achieving quality yields, we're focused on the science of smokability. And this is where we had the pleasure of meeting earlier in the year of 2025 with Dr. Allison. That was really cool. And this whole concept of smokability and quality. What are you doing as a farm to separate yourself from the other salt growers, right? So this is where Kevin Crouch, our other co-founder's recipe of Synganics, incorporating organic inputs at scale through the drippers. And so this is one of the things. We got to focus on workflow. And at the end of the day, how does this smoke? There's plenty of cultivators.
What's the quality, right? At the end of the day, right? For the consumer.
Plenty of cultivators can grow pretty weed and heavy yields, but how does it smoke? And that's the thing that we're going to be focused on. So by utilizing organics, proper climate control, all the different strategies that we utilize, and that's what's cool about PowrHouse because it's a big playground. It's a 310 light flowering light facility, 4 different types of rooms, 2 double stack 100 light LEDs, and 2 55 light checkerboards. So we can build the rhizosphere, and the same recipe is applied throughout all the different rooms. But if we want to try different products for end of life or whatever it might be, we're always coming back to quality. How does this smoke? And that's the big fun part right here. And Anthony, he's the historian who actually does all the organic inputs at PowrHouse. And Anthony, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the organics at scale.
Yeah, my name's Anthony Jones. I've been cultivating for about 18 years now. I work at PowrHouse, and I'm in charge of a lot of the administration of the actual organics and foliars. So the big thing we kind of do at PowrHouse is that we're integrating a lot of the organics through the drip systems. The drip systems are very important to a lot of the large-scale operations. So figuring out what inputs we can put through the drippers and SOPs to make sure those lines are clean are very important.
Which for us here, this was a fantastic series because being here at Indoor AgCon, there's no other cultivation specific type of conference, and this is where we started talking with Kyle about doing the Cannabis Live conference. There's a lot of things out here that we wanted to be involved in with discussions. Yeah. So the fact that you guys had this little roundtable discussion was very personally engaging. This was probably the highlight of my experience here.
I agree.
Really?
Really cool.
The table talk?
We made a lot of connections. I would say like 4 to 5 connections. We didn't leave the table.
Thank you. And you guys actually had an event here, and yet our event was your highlight?
100%.
Oh my God.
Because this is needed.
Such a compliment.
These levels of discussion, like we dove into it. Like there's a lot of great stuff you talk about with Nick Denney.
Yeah.
Nick's got a lot of experience from the MSO side, which is what we're trying to help understand, like help MSOs with quality at scale. So there's a lot of different things that we can incorporate, but this is great.
And he said that he listened more than he expected to, and he learned a lot. So I actually really enjoyed watching your guys' table because at one point it broke out into like 3 different conversations. I was like, that's beautiful. I just want to, so 2 specific questions. One is this your guys' first Indoor AgCon?
This is the second. So last year we just walked it. This year we got a booth and shared it with Kayak Core, United Nutrients, Terra, Cairo Space, Dissolved Oxygen. So we just did a little collaboration.
And what did you think about the show in general?
I thought the show was great. It was concentrated, and a lot of the panel discussions were great. We're honored to be, representing the cannabis sector in this whole Cannabis Live series, which is great. It's we want to try to bridge the gaps, and there's a lot of solutions that we're not exposed to yet. So hopefully we can help to continue to evolve.
I was so excited when I saw that you guys were going to be part of Indoor AgCon this year. I think I texted you immediately, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to see you in Vegas!" I'm so glad they invited you.
There feels like there's not a lot of fluff here. There's a lot of solutions here, and there's more people talking. I would say people are a lot happier here. Right. For some reason, at the other conferences, it was very gloomy.
It's a tough time in the industry. The market's compressing toughly, and you're only going to be able to survive if you can hit yield with quality. That's just the standard right now. The pack prices are too low.
I love that feedback. That's amazing.
People are eager to learn here. I would at the other conference we were at. I would try to tell people stuff, and they're like, "I already know that." I'm like, "Well, what are we doing here? Let's educate, let's share information, not try to trump each other." Sure. What I see here is people are looking for solutions. They're listening. It's like I have this specific set of information that I could share with you that gives you up in your garden. You can go home Monday and practice what we just taught. And vice versa. Like we were talking about Nick. Nick just taught us something about scouting and how he does it on a larger scale without having to go through and look at individual leaves, you know.
Solutions.
So we're all learning something from each other, and that's what I feel like is better here. Like there's more
there's
of
not a lot of ego here.
No gatekeeping, which a lot of the cannabis conferences specific, there's a lot of gatekeeping because people think they have their IP to protect. The industry hasn't even started yet, guys. Like, chill out. We're here to share.
So you've already mentioned a few of your takeaways, but what is one of your biggest takeaways from this year's show?
Go ahead, Anthony.
Just seeing, I wasn't here last year, but just seeing a lot of our cannabis friends in this space, and also diving into regular agriculture. You know, some of the stuff we figured out in the cannabis industry can help some of the regular agricultural stuff. You know, specifically with nutrient density. So putting more of this nutrient back into the plants to give more of that health, especially if we're eating. You know, when it comes to cannabis, we're smoking it, so the health of that is more translated into flavor, potency, effect, and stuff like that. But with a lot of stuff here, you're actually consuming it. So I think that what we do could really help these people have better taste, better flavor, and continue to have that big yield.
Absolutely. Love that.
There's a lot of camaraderie in this industry, and that's something that we love. You know, the fact that cannabis is such a tight-knit community as well, but we're really here trying to focus on figuring out where are the areas that we can help grow with the right people. But yeah, no, it's been a fantastic series, and again, appreciate you guys putting this table session together. This is so we thought we were coming into like a panel area.
Listen to you talk.
Yes, we're like, Dr. Naughty is ready, let's go. And so when you have the tables open up, it's like, hey, pick your topic. We're like, oh shit, that's cool. Crop steering, let's go.
Nice.
And you controlled the room very well too.
Very well.
We were ready to listen.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I think a lot of people also came to like sit at my table, but you know what? It was so nice to just sit back and like just kind of eavesdrop on the conversations at each of the tables. And so I'm really excited that you participated, and you'll get more opportunities to hear me talk. So, and bring me on your show so I can talk to you, and talk to the community.
That's what we're focused on at the Connect community this year, is more specific topics that we can dive deep into the granular details on, more integers. That's where we really get the most value, like sitting at these tables. We were talking specifics. That's what we need to get our panel discussions focused around. I think we've done a great job of putting over 55 videos on YouTube about topics. Now we're diving deep into the integers. That's really what this year's going to be focused around. So we'd love to have you on one to talk airflow and confusion and all the things that we're doing wrong.
Yeah. You said it, not me.
Airflow is hard.
Airflow is hard.
Especially in tiered systems, like mixing the boxes, something completely different to a lot of people. So yes, it would be an honor to have you on the Connect panel series.
Thank you. Sergio, Anthony, thank you guys for being here.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, selfie time. Pop in.
Let's do it. All right. I am with David Sandelman from Canatrol. How are you?
Good. See, here we fly under Vermont Dry and Cure for those that are like, the evil weed, but there's more crossing over.
Well, you've been to Indoor AgCon before.
Yes, we've been here last year.
Okay, and why did you come back?
Because we met some great people last year.
Awesome.
And it was amazing, the people that came by and said, we've got crop that we need to do post-harvest. And you guys know how post-harvest works for stability, preservation, that type of thing, so it doesn't go bad. And so we made some good connections like that last year. And then we've been working more and more as grow facilities used our technology in post-harvest, said, you hold the vapor pressure, the dew point in a drying room within 1/10 or 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you do that in that grow room? So since then, we've applied our technology to a couple of test grow rooms in Massachusetts, and they said the result is amazing.
Awesome.
So now we're looking for more projects, because then we can precisely hold VPD, like right on the money, where when the lights come on and off, photo, non-photo, dead flat lines. So
very cool.
So we came here to talk about it.
Awesome. So what is one of your primary takeaways that you're going home with after the conference?
Meeting a very diverse group of people that we'd not meet before because of the diverse range of crops. I just sat on the climate panel, and sitting next to me was someone who grew mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And many years ago we dabbled with mushroom growers in Pennsylvania. So it's great to reconnect with a mushroom grower now here who grows in Las Vegas.
Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining our table talk discussions and for coming and talk to me today.
It was great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Matt.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm with Laren Olk-Zost from Northern Michigan University. Welcome to Indoor AdCon.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you.
Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time
What
out
did
here.
you think?
It's fantastic. This has
Yeah?
been so cool to see all these different aspects of the industry come together and just talk to each other, meet face to face, and learn about the different needs of the industry, learn about what we need in the future and that value of skill set for operators into the future.
Awesome. What was one of your big takeaways from this conference?
I think that it's nice to see a more sober estimate for growth, but that there still is a lot of development. New high-tech greenhouses, the move towards more greenhouses than just traditional maybe vertical farming, which still has its place, but it's really fascinating to see how the industry is shifting and meeting those needs to remain more sustainable, increase sustainability, as well as economic viability.
So on that note, I want to ask you, you're an educator. And you teach CEA classes, right? What are you going to go back and tell your students about the industry right now and in the future, and where they can fit into our ecosystem?
Well, not always the most satisfying answer, but there's a lot of options. There's a lot of places that they need talent. So
That is very satisfying, I think.
I think that a lot of my students are interested in, farming, strictly on the farming side. There's a lot of room for that if you're a talented operator who can troubleshoot and actually look at it from a diverse perspective on your operation to figure out, what can be optimized. I think that's big. Also, there's need for research. There's a huge need for people who can actually determine the right levels for applying different strategies that will be viable. So yeah, that there's a lot of ways to go for this growth.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate the work you're doing to train and educate the next generation in our industry, and I really love that you were here.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be here. Thank you to make the time to chat.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Okay.
Not Austin, that's Austin.
Oh, no. I'm here with Austin Green. No, I'm here.
That's the guy from Reno 210, right?
Oh, Brian Austin
There,
Green.
that's what it is.
Yes, I am with Brian Austin
I've never
Green,
seen that show, I'm
a.k.a.
sorry.
Aaron Fields.
Right.
All right, I am with Aaron Fields from Campo Caribe. He is the CEO. We are at Indoor AdCon 2026. Aaron, you're one of my favorite people to always see at this conference. What brought you back this year?
It's a good question. I actually wasn't going to come back this year. When you look at conferences through the lens of being a CEO and a leader with my team, I need to make sure that my actions are purveying something that's furthering our company and our success. And I didn't know if I could justify that with what I've seen the past couple of years being at the show. I know a lot of the people that are here. I feel like I can call people. So what was the value I was going to get out of that? So I canceled, and then I got roped in a little bit more, and I was on a panel, and I've never been more pleasantly surprised with the outcome. I was actually shocked. Yeah, I had so many conversations with people face to face in an area where you're not stressed, when you don't have meetings, when you're not on a schedule that day, and we just talked, and that is invaluable. I don't think I've ever recognized this event for that, or any conference for that matter. And so we would just talk, and it was friendly, and we were walking around and talking shop, and no agenda, and you don't get that when you hop on a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting for 30 minutes. You're go, get it out, thanks, I'll call you next week, and then you're just still stressed out. It was really comfortable, the vibe was outstanding, and I was really happy that I came here.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so glad you were here. How did this year's show compare to previous shows you've been to?
I don't know why I felt like there was more vendors here. I really didn't look at the number, but it felt more available. But it was the energy. There was just better energy here this year. People are kind of taking a breath. The industry's kind of taking a breath. I was expecting people to come in with new perspectives, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of just maybe more open-minded. And I did get that out of a lot of people. And I met people that have been in the industry at my level for 10 years. And I was like, why the hell haven't we ever talked before? But it happened this year. right? And that didn't happen a lot before.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think people are just coming in with a better perspective with the fact that this is going to consolidate whether we want it to or not. And people better figure out where you're at. And there's no secret sauce. And we're all doing the same stuff. And if we don't get our act together as an industry, no one's going to win.
Do you also think that there's something about like this camaraderie that we are the survivors? Like we are the people left.
I heard that a lot. And the word survivor for me, it should have, right? It should have a positive connotation, but it has a negative connotation because it makes me think of the people that aren't here. And I don't know why, but it does. And so I like to think that we are the people that are we've persevered, that maybe made some good decisions. Maybe we just got lucky, quite frankly. But there's got to be something that brings you together because you all probably did the same damn thing and you're not talking about it. And so I do think there is an awesome camaraderie, though. I do. I really, really, really do. This show felt friendlier than past shows. The show felt more open to me than past shows.
Yeah,
right?
I heard that a lot.
It really did, and I thought that was fantastic. People were rewarding and thanking people for being open and honest.
Yes.
That happened quite a few of my conversations, and I really enjoyed that.
That's awesome. So other than all the things you've said already, what is maybe one of your takeaways from this year's conference that you're going to take back to Puerto Rico with you?
Good question. This is weird because this is the first show where my focus was the vendors. I typically came for some of the information and the networking, but with Campo Caribe being where we are and being CEO, I was actually looking this year. I was like, I need some solutions. We're ready to ramp up. I'm a different beast than we were a year ago. So for me, that engagement was just a different experience for me, and I felt like it was awesome. But again, I'm just going to say the energy was really great for me this year.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, it was great to see you.
Awesome to see you.
Thanks for coming to the States, and I can't wait to come see your greenhouse one day.
It's not nice there, so...
That's okay.
No, I have
But you were making it work, right? I mean, food security is a real issue in Puerto Rico.
No, that's our goal and our mission. I need to be every piece of lettuce in Puerto Rico because it makes no sense to ship fresh produce there.
Right.
So we won't do it all, and we won't do it overnight, but we want to be an inspiration to other people to make it get done. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your hard work in this industry. And
we don't do it without vendors like you and support from people like you. So thank you.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
All right. Safe travels.
Yeah, you too.
All right.